Hi everybody, so today I'm going to show you how to make my small baby. I will be making mine exactly like this one. This is a smaller version of my bigger one. So that's what the bigger one looks like. Comment down below if you want to see the bigger version too as well. You can pick any color that you would like to use. I will be using this pattern, so I'll be doing 2 rows of yellow, pink, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows. These are the colors from the Pastel Rainbow Loom mixed bag. I did use 2 bags just to get the colors, and I minused 2 colors out of the bags. So for the body and for the hat, you're going to need about 620 bands to complete this. For the face, you can pick any color that you would like to use. I did use the lightest color from the Rainbow Loom skin tone bags, and to finish this one I had to use 2 bags, the one color, just because I have a lot of these bands left over. I'm going to use 2 black bands for the eyes, the skin tone color, or you could use like the green that I used here, use a pink, use a purple, any color that you would like to use. You don't necessarily have to make it with the light color. You're going to need about 230 bands for the face. I'm going to be using some C-clips, just my hook, and I'll be using some stuffing to fill. So I'm going to get started. For round 1 of the arm, I'm going to show you how to do one, and you're going to pause the video and make yourself another arm. So right now I'm going to make 7 stitches in the magic ring. So that means you're going to use 8 bands total. I'll be using a C-clip for my stitch marker, so to know where I end the round and then where to begin. I'm going to be using Isalicious Designs technique to make the magic ring on our loom. So turn your loom upside down. You're going to take a single band of the skin color that you're going to be using. So whatever color you're going to be using for the face, we're going to use this for the tip of the hands. So take a single band and wrap it around one peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to use 7 bands, and we're going to single stitch inside the magic ring. So grabbing your hook, go through, take a single band, and we're going to be doing something like a slip knot. So grab the other end of the band and put on your hook. Now you're going to grab this band and bring it over and bring it to the side. Go back in for your second stitch, so your second band, and bring it through. Put on your hook. So now you have 3 bands. You're going to bring these 2 bands over the band that's at the end of your hook and bring it to the side. We're going for our third stitch, so reach in, grab the band and bring it through. Again, you should have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. Our fourth stitch, grabbing the band and bringing it through. Bring these 2 bands over and bring it to the side. Our fifth stitch, so our 5th band, repeat in on your hook and bring these 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. Our 6th stitch, go back in, grab the band, put on your hook, and grab these 2 bands and bring it over. Our last band, our 7th stitch, go in, grab it, put on your hook, and bring these 2 bands over. Now I'm going to attach a C-clip to the band that's around my hook and remove off the loom. Now it is important to count your stitches, so I'm just going to move these bands around so it's nice and even, and you're going to see the stitches clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one on your hook is your 7th. Round 2 of the arm, what we're going to do is use 7 bands, and we're going to do 7 single stitches in each chain. So you're going to reach in your first chain, go through and grab a single band and bring it through. Put on your hook and you're going to slide it through. So that was one stitch in one chain. Now moving on to your next chain, you're going to go through, grab a single band, bring it through, put on your hook, and slide through. We're going to go in the next chain with a single band. So at the end of this round, you'll have 7 stitches again. Bring it through. Go in your next chain with another single band and pull it through. Repeat this pattern all the way to the end. The next chain, single band. The next chain, single band. And where your stitch marker is, you're going to go through with your last band. Put it on your hook and slide through. So now you should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one on your hook is your 7th. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. For rounds 3 to round 7, what we're going to do is single stitch in each chain. So we'll be adding 1 band to each chain. I will be using the yellow 2 rows of the pink, and 1 row of this light green. Choose the colors that you would like to use, but when you change a color, we will be doing a slip stitch. So I'm going to go in the first chain and grab my single band, and because it's a different color, I'm going to slide it through the chain and then slide it through the band that's on my hook, just for the beginning of the round when you change a color, and you're going to slide it through. So that is a slip stitch. Going into the next chain, you're just going to pull the band through, put on your hook, and then slide it through, and continue that around the next chain. So when you're done your round, you're going to have 5 stitches. The next chain, bring it through on your hook and slide it through. My 5th stitch, bring it through on my hook and slide it through. The next one, slide it through. And slide it through. So you should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one on your hook is 7. Now I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band that's around my hook. Now I'm going to go in the first stitch where my yellow is and start my second round. So this is round 4. And you're just adding a single band to each stitch. Where my C-clip is. So again, you should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one on your hook is 7. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. You can give it a little stretch out so you can see where your stitches are. So we're going for a round 5, and I'm going to go in my first stitch, and I'm going to be switching colors, so I'm going to do a slip stitch. If you aren't using a different color, you do not have to do the slip stitch. You just have to bring the bands over. So I'm just going to show you if you're not using a different color, just put it on your hook and slide it through. But we want a nice round circle when you're changing colors, so go in your first stitch, grab the band, and bring it through. Slip stitch. Go in your chain, grab the band, and we want to bring it through all the bands that are around your hook. And there's your slip stitch. Going in the next chain with a single band, put on your hook and slide it through. Continue the pattern all the way around. If I'm going too fast, just pause the video and finish your round and continue and come back to me. Where my C-clip is, remove the C-clip and attach it to the band around your hook. Give it a little stretch open. So I'm going to go on my next round, my 6th round, with a single band, and I'm just going to put on my hook and slide through. Where the C-clip is, so again you should have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the one on your hook is 7. I'm going to remove the C-clip and attach. For round 7, we're going to switch our color, or I'm going to. So I'm going to go in my first chain and again do a slip knot. So I'm going to bring it through all the bands that are around my hook. Grab and slide through. My next stitch, slide through. For our last band, we are going to do a slip knot. So go through where your C-clip is or your stitch marker, bring the bands through and through all the bands that are around your hook, put on your hook and do a slip knot. Give it a tug. I'm going to remove the C-clip and I'm going to add a little bit of stuffing, not a lot. So just to have it a little bit full, but I'm not going to put a lot. We want it flat. Otherwise it's going to be sticking out after you sew it on the body. So you can use a pencil and just shove it around, and then we're going to just flatten out the arm. So now I'm going to take 2 bands of the color that's on my top. I'm going to put the slip knot to the side here, and I'm going to do 2 slip knots attaching one side to the other. So you're going to put it even. I'm going to go through 1 chain on one side and 1 chain on the other side. And I'm going to do a slip knot. I'm going to bring it through, put both ends on my hook, and slide through. Give it a tug. Now right at the end here, I'm going to take one chain on one side and one chain on the other side and bring the band through. And this is what it should look like. I'm just going to do this to the other arm with two bands, putting my slip knot to the side. I'm going to go through one chain on one side of the arm and the other chain on the other side. I'm going to bring the band through, grabbing both ends and sliding. I'm going to grab the chain at the top, right at the end, through one chain on one side and the other chain on the other side. And I'm going to bring the band through. So please pause the video and make yourself another arm. For round one of the head, I am going to do 5 single stitches on the magic ring. So I'll be using my loom. So turn your loom upside down. And I'm going to be using 6 bands. So I'm going to take one band and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to reach in and we're going to do 5 single stitches. So you're going to grab one band and bring it through as if you're doing a slip knot. Put on your hook, bring the band over, and bring it to the side. Our second stitch, we're going to go in, grab the band, and bring it through. Bring these 2 bands over. Our third stitch, reach in, grab the band, put on your hook, and bring the 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. Reach back in for our 4th stitch, our 4th band, bring it through, and bring these 2 bands over. Our last stitch, reach in, bring the band, and bring it through. Bring these 2 bands over, and I'm going to add my stitch marker, so I'm going to add it to the band that's around my hook. Remove off the loom, and we're going to count our stitches. I'm going to move these bands around so that they're nice and even, and you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. For round 2 of the head, what we're going to do is use 10 bands. We are going to increase on every stitch. So that means you're going to put 2 bands, one at a time, through every stitch. So go in the first stitch, grab one band, and bring it through. Put it on your hook, and slide. Go back in that same stitch with your second band. So when we're done our round, we're going to have 10 stitches. Go in your next stitch, grab a single band, and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide. Go back in that same stitch with the next band and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide. We're going in the next stitch, one band at a time, and slide through. And go back in that same stitch. Continue this pattern all the way around. And where my C-clip is, I'm adding 2 bands. So now you should have 10 stitches when you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the one on your hook is your 10th. I'm going to remove the C-clip and add it to the band that's around my hook. For round 3, we are going to single stitch on our first stitch, then increase on our second. So you're going to add 2 bands. Then a single stitch, 2 bands, single stitch, 2 bands, all the way around. So I've set up my little pattern here. I have 10 sections, and every second one I'll be adding 2 bands. My last one where my C-clip is, I'm going to be adding 2 bands, so we are going to have a total of 15 stitches at the end of this round. So going in my first stitch with 1 band, bring it through. My second stitch, I'll be adding 2 bands, 1 at a time. So we will be increasing on this stitch. Again, 1, and then 2 on the next stitch. Then again, 1, and then 2 on the next stitch. So in the same stitch, adding 2 bands. Then do it again, 1 stitch in the next chain, and then the next chain you'll be adding 2 bands. One, and then the last stitch is 2 bands. So if you count your stitches, you should have 15 stitches all the way around. The band on your hook is your last stitch, so it's the 15th, your 15th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. For round 4 of the head, you should have 15 stitches, and we're going to increase till we have 20 stitches. So at the end of this round, we will have 20 stitches. So I've put my little pattern here. I have a row of 10 and 15, because that's what we have right now. On every 3rd stitch, we are going to increase with 2 bands. So it's going to be 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, all the way around. On your last stitch, where your stitch marker is, you'll be adding 2 bands. So going in the first stitch with 1 band, our next stitch with 1 band. So a single stitch. Our 3rd stitch will have 2 bands, 1 at a time. And repeat. 1 in the first stitch, 1 in the second stitch, and then 2 in the 3rd stitch. Again, 1, in the next stitch, 1, in the 3rd stitch, 2. Then just repeat again. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. So right now you should have 20 stitches. After counting, remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For rounds 5 to rounds 11, what we're going to be doing is single stitch in each chain. So when we finish each round, we're going to have 20 stitches. So I've organized my little piles here of 20 bands in each pile. So you can see round 5, round 6, round 7, round 8, all the way to round 11. I'm going to be leaving a C-clip at the end of each round in case I get distracted, and that way I can count to make sure that all my rounds are there. And then at the end I'll remove the C-clips. So I'm going to do one round with you. So I'm going to go in the first stitch and just add a single band to each chain. So just going in the next stitch with one band, in the next stitch with one band, all the way till I reach my C-clip. So you'll just be repeating this pattern 7 times around. Looks like I miscounted. I had too many bands in my pile. So when you're done each round, you should have 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the one on your hook is the 20th. I am going to be leaving the C-clip and just grabbing another C-clip, attaching, and I'm going to start my next round. So please pause the video and come back to me when you're done. So I finished my round, so just to show you, I've left the C-clips on, and I'm just going to remove these 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, row 9, row 10, and row 11. So I'm just going to take one of those C-clips and attach it to the band around my hook, and I'm going to move on to row 12. For round 12 of the head, what we're going to do is start to decrease this round. So at the end of this round, we are going to have 15 stitches. So I'm going to use 15 bands. I have a row of 10 and a row of 5, so I have total 15. Every third and fourth stitch we are going to stitch together. So the pattern is single, single, 3 and 4 together, single, single, we're going to stitch 3 and stitch 4 together. So going in the first stitch with a single band and bring it through, stitch 2, single band. Now you're going to take stitch 3, go back towards the middle of the head there, and go through stitch 4. So right now I have stitch 3 and stitch 4 on my hook. Taking a single band, you're going to go through that stitch 4, and you're going to bring it through stitch 3. Put on your hook and slide it through. We're going to repeat 1, 1 in the next stitch, And we're going to take stitch 3 and stitch 4 and bring a single band through. Now what I like to do with my finger here is I like to center the head right into the middle of that band so I don't have so much tension when I'm done. So I just kind of slit it with my finger. Put the band on your hook and slide it through. And just repeat this pattern all the way around. 1, 1, stitch 3 and stitch 4 together. Slide it and repeat. 1, oops, okay, 1, 1 in the next one, and stitch 3 and stitch 4 together. So 1, 1, stitch 3 and stitch 4 together. So now you should have 15 stitches. I'm just going to move the bands around. I'm going to remove the C-clip, attach it to the band around my hook. For round 13, what we're going to do is decrease again on this round. So I'm going to be using 10 bands. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches. This time I will be doing a single stitch in the first chain, and then 2 and 3 together. Single, 2 and 3 together. Single, stitch 2 and stitch 3 together. So going in our first stitch with 1 band, bring it through. Take stitch 2 and stitch 3 and stitch together. Our last band, at the end of this round, we are going to do a slip stitch. Oh, sorry, a slip knot. So go in stitch 1 with a single band, stitch 2 and stitch 3 together. Again, stitch 1 with 1 band, stitch 2 and stitch 3 together. One, stitch 2 and stitch 3 together. Stitch 1 with 1 band. Now I'm at my last 2 stitches, so this should be stitch 2 and stitch 3. You're going to bring your band through all the bands that are around your hook in order to do a slip knot, because we're done our rounds with the head. So bring it through all the bands, so you have one end of the band on your finger and the other end of that same band is on your hook. Grab both ends and just slide it through. Give it a little tug. I'm going to remove my C-clip and we're going to add our stuffing now. I'm just going to move the bands around and we're going to grab some stuffing. You don't want to overstuff so that the bands, that you're going to see the stuffing through the head. So what I like to do is just roll it, and if there's any of the stuffing coming out, then you just add a little bit too much stuffing. So our head is done, and this is what it should look like. For round 1 of the body, what we're going to do is 5 single stitches on the magic ring. I'm just going to show you, this is the pattern that I will be using to make my body. So I'll be doing 2 rounds of yellow, 2 rounds of pink, 2 rounds of this pastel green, 2 rounds of this purple, and 2 rounds of this pastel teal. So starting off, I'm going to take a single band and I'm going to wrap it around the bottom peg of my loom. So turn your loom upside down and go around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to do 5 single stitches, 1 band at a time. Going in with my first stitch, bringing it through as if we're doing the slip knot, and bring your band over. Bring it to the side. Stitch 2, put on your hook, and bring these 2 bands over. Our third band, go in, grab the band, bring it through, and bring these 2 bands over. Our fourth stitch, go in, grab the band, bring it through, and bring these 2 bands over. Our fifth band, go in, grab the band, and bring it through. Bring these 2 bands over and add your stitch marker. Remove off the loom. You're going to move your bands around so it's nice and neat, and you should have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. For round 2 of the body, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So you're going to add 2 bands to each stitch. For this round, you're going to use a total of 10 bands, and I've just separated them. So this will be going in stitch 1, 2 bands in stitch 2, 2 bands in stitch 3, all the way to the end. At the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches. Go in your first stitch and add 1 band, bring it through. Go back in that same stitch to add your second band. So all we're doing is making this round bigger. Going in the next stitch, adding 1 band, go back in that same stitch to add your second band. So you're increasing on each stitch. Go in the next stitch, your third stitch, with 2 rubber bands. In my next stitch, back in that same stitch, and my last stitch with 2 rubber bands, one at a time. So now you should have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the one on your hook is the 10th. Remove your stitch marker, and I'm going to add it to the band around my hook. I'm going to move these bands around. Row 3 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every second stitch. So I'm going to add 1 rubber band, then 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and 2. So where your stitch marker is, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. 2 rubber bands. So right now I have a row of 10, and every second stitch we're going to be adding 2 bands. So I'm going to switch colors. So what I'm going to do is bring my rubber band right through and right through the band that was around my hook. So we're going to do a slip stitch. So bring it through. If you're changing color. Going in my next stitch, I'm going to add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. Going back in. My next stitch is 1. My next stitch is 2. And complete this pattern all the way around. . 1, and then 2. At the end of this round, you will have 15 stitches. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I miscounted. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. Round 4 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every third stitch. So we're going to do 1, 1, 2 bands, 1, 1, 2 bands, 1, 1, 2, all the way around. When you get to your stitch marker, you will be adding 2 rubber bands. So at the end of this round, we are going to have 20 stitches. So right now I have a row of 10 and a row of 5, 15, because currently I have 15 stitches. I'm going to increase every third, so we will end up with 20 stitches. So what you're going to do is, if you change color, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have your first color, you're going to have this little stitch. That's not where you're going to go in. You're going to go in your first chain stitch, which is here. So this would just be kind of your knot. So going in your first stitch with 1 band, and bring it through. Your next stitch with 1. Your third stitch, we're going to add 2 rubber bands. 1, going back in, 2. Repeat 1, 1, and then 2. Going back in. Repeat 1, 1, 2. Repeat 1, 1, 2. One, 1, and 2. So right now you should have 20 stitches. After you count, you can remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. For round 5 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every 4th stitch. So we're going to be going 1, 1, 1, 2 bands, 1, 1, 1, 2 bands. So right now we're going to increase to, we get 25 stitches. So right now we have 20 stitches. So you're going to see a row of 10 and another row of 10. So we're going to go 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. On your last stitch where your stitch marker is, we're going to be adding 2 rubber bands. So you're going to go in your first stitch. I'm going to be changing color. So I'm going to do a slip stitch. So you're going to see your first stitch, not where it's getting pulled. You're going to go in. We're going to grab our first band and we're going to bring it through all of the bands if you're changing color. And bring it through. If you're not changing color, I'm just going to show you. Just going to take that out. If you're not changing color, you just want to repeat what you're doing before. So you're just going to bring the band through, put on your hook, and then bring it through and continue the pattern. So I'm going to remove because I'm changing color. Going in and bring it through all of the bands. Put on your hook and slide through. That was our slip stitch. Going in our next stitch with a single band, bring it through. Our third stitch with a single band, bring it through. Our fourth, we're going to add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. So going back in that stitch with another rubber band. Repeat the pattern. 1, 1, 1, 2. And the same stitch. Repeat. 1, 1, 1, 2. One, 1, 1, and 2. And you're going to repeat one more time. So now you should have 25 stitches starting from your first chain. So after you counted, you can remove your stitch marker and add it to the band that's around your hook. And I'm just going to move my bands around. For rounds 6 to rounds 9, we are going to single stitch on each chain. So we're going to be adding 1 rubber band to each chain. So at each round, at the end, we're going to have 25 stitches. So this is my pattern for round 6, round 7, round 8, and round 9. So I'm going to do the first round with you, and then you're going to pause the video to finish the rounds. So I'm going to go in my first stitch, so you can give it a little tug, and you're going to see your first chain is right here. I'm going to go in with 1 rubber band and put on my hook and bring through. Just so you know, each pile has 25 bands. I'm going to go on the next chain and add 1 rubber band. Next chain with 1. Next chain with 1. All the way around. So I finished my round 6 and I'm going to start my round 7 and I'm going to start it with you just because I'm changing color. I'm going to leave my C-clip on and I'm just going to add a next C-clip. So just to make sure that I complete all the rounds, I can just count the C-clips. So I'm going to go in my first chain stitch, not where the C-clip is, and I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to bring it through all the bands, put on my hook, and slide it through. And just going in the next stitch, beside it with one rubber band, put on your hook and slide through. And the next. And you're going to complete this pattern all the way around. If you are going to change color, don't forget the slip stitch. Pause your video and come back to me when you're done. For round 10, what we're going to do is we're going to decrease to 20 stitches. So at the end of this round, we are going to have 20 stitches. I am going to stitch together every 4th and 5th stitch. So it's going to be 1, 1, 1, stitch 2 together. 1, 1, 1, stitch 2 together. So I'll be using 20 bands. So in your first stitch, let me just show you, you're going in your first stitch, not where it's getting pulled, and you're going to add 1 band. The next stitch, 1 band. 1. Now you're going to take stitch 4 and stitch 5 and stitch together. Pull your bands through, push with your finger, put the band on your hook and slide through, and repeat. 1, 1, 1, stitch 4 and stitch 5 together. Repeat. 1, 1, 1, stitch 4 and stitch 5 together. And just repeat all the way around. My last 2 stitches are my 4th and my 5th, and I'm going to stitch together. I'm going to move the bands around so that they're nice and even. I'm going to remove the C-clip. You should have 20 stitches. I'm going to add to the band around my hook. For rounds 11 to rounds 14, you're going to single stitch in each chain. So you're just going to add a rubber band to each one. 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around till you reach your end. I'm going to do the first row with you, and then you're going to continue rows 12, 13, and 14. I will be leaving C-clips as in case I get distracted. So I'm going to start in my first chain. I'm going to switch the color. So I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to bring the band through all the loops, grab the other end, and do a slip stitch. I'm going in the next chain with 1 rubber band, all the way around, just doing a single stitch in each chain. In each pile that I have, there's 20 bands in each. So when you're done with rows 14, you should still have 20 stitches when you count around. Oh, I dropped my stitches. I'm just going to pick them up. So I'm just going to pause the video, and you're going to complete your rounds. I'm just going to add my next C-clip, and I'm going to start with my row 12. So pause the video and come back to me when you're done. Just remember to go in your first chain stitch, not the little slip knot right here, right in here. When you change the color, if you are changing colors, don't forget to do your slip stitch. For round 15 of the body, what we're going to be doing is decreasing every third and fourth stitch. So we're going to stitch together every third and fourth. The pattern is 1, 2, 3, and 4 together. 1, 2, 3, and 4 together. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 15 stitches. So I'll be using 15 bands. I'm going to switch my color. So I'm going to go in the first stitch with a single rubber band, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So that was 1. My next stitch, 2. So your second stitch. Now you're going to stitch 3 and stitch 4 together. Repeat the pattern. 1, 1, 3, and 4 together. 1, 1, 3, and 4 together. And just repeat. 1, 1, 3, and 4 together. One, drop my stitches. 2, 3, and 4 together. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band that's around my hook. So right now you should have 15 stitches, counting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the one on your hook, 15. For rows 16 to row 19, we are going to single stitch in each chain 1 rubber band. So I'm going to do the first round with you, and then you're going to pause the video until you're done. So right now each pile has 15 stitches, so at the end of the round you're going to have 15 chains. it has 15 bands, sorry. So going in your first stitch, and you're going to put on your hook and bring it through. On your next chain with just one rubber band all the way around. Oh, drop my stitches. I'm gonna pick them up. So I'm just going to leave that C-clip there just to count for counting purposes, and I'm going to start my next round. When you go in, just make sure if you're changing color, if you are, you just want to bring it through and start. On our last round on row 19, with your last band, with the last one, you're going to do the exact same thing, and it's going to act as a slip knot. And then we'll be finished with the body. So continue with round 17, 18, and 19, and then come back to me when you're done. I'm at the end of my round 19, so I'm just going to show you, I'm just going in my last stitch, and I'm just going to do a slip knot. So just the same as you would do a slip stitch, you're going through all the bands, grabbing, and give it a little tug. So we're done with the body. I'm just going to move the bands around, and we're just going to add some stuffing. Remember not to fill it too much. And I'm just going to roll it, and if anything's coming out, then I'm just going to remove that piece. And you can put this to the side. So round one of the hat, I will be following the same pattern as I used for the body. This is what it's going to look like at the end. So I am going to do 5 stitches on our magic ring. So I'm going to use the bottom part of our loom again, and I'm going to take a single band, and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. So now we're just going to do 5 single stitches. So going with my first band, going in as if I'm doing a slip knot, grabbing the other end, and bringing it over. Bring it to the side. Our second band, bring it through, put on your hook, and bring the 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. Third stitch, go in, grab the band, put on your hook, and bring the bands over. Our fourth stitch, reach in, grab the band, and bring it up. Bring it over. And our fifth, go in, grab the band, bring it up, and over. I'm going to use my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. Gonna remove. I'm gonna move the bands around so it's nice and even, and you can see your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. For round 2 of our hat, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So we're going to add 2 bands to every stitch. So at the end of this round, we're going to have 10 stitches. So going in our first stitch, adding 1 rubber band. Go back in, same stitch, and add another rubber band. Our next stitch, add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. Our third stitch, add 2 rubber bands. Our fourth, 2 rubber bands. And our last stitch. So you should have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The one on your hook is your 10th. I'm going to remove my C-clip and add it to the band around my hook. For round 3 of the hat, what we're going to do is increase every other stitch. So we're going to add 1 rubber band, 2 rubber bands, 1, 2 rubber bands, 1 rubber band, 2 rubber bands, all the way around. So at the end of this round, we're going to have 15 stitches. So right now I have 10, and every second I have 2. My last stitch where your C-clip is, or your stitch marker, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So because I'm changing color, I'm going to go in my first stitch and I'm going to do a slip stitch, bringing it through, putting on your hook, and sliding through. Going in my next stitch, I'm going to add 2 rubber bands one at a time. So go back in, next stitch with 1, my next stitch with 2 rubber bands, and just repeat the pattern all the way around. 1, then add 2 in the next, and 1, and then 2. One and 2. So you should have 15 stitches. You're going to start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the one on your hook is 15. For round 4 of the hat, what we're going to do is increase every 3rd stitch. So our pattern is going to be our first stitch with 1 band, our second stitch will have 1 band, and our 3rd stitch will have 2 bands. You will repeat that 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. At the end of this round, you'll have 20 stitches. So going in my first stitch with 1 band, my next stitch will have 1 band. My 3rd stitch will have 2. Then repeat 1, 1, 2. One, 1, 2. And repeat this pattern all the way around. 1, 1, 2. Your last stitch, where your stitch marker is, you should be adding 2 rubber bands. I can see I've lost my C-clip. So you want to adjust everything to make sure it's nice and even. Remove your stitch marker, which mine fell, and add it to the band around your hook. You should have 20 stitches. For rounds 5 to rounds 9 of the hat, what we're going to do is single stitch on each chain. So we're just going to be adding a single band, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. So at the end of each round, we're going to have 20 stitches. I'm going to do the first round with you, and then you're going to pause the video to do round 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then come back to me when you're done. So I'm going to be switching colors, so I'm going to go in the first stitch, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So bringing it through, putting on my hook, and sliding. Going in the next stitch with 1 rubber band, the next stitch with 1, so each pile has 20 bands. 1, so at the end of each round you should have 20 stitches. My last stitch where my C-clip is, adding 1 rubber band, and I'm going to leave the C-clip on just to count my rows if I have to stop, and I'm going to add another C-clip here. So just so you know, when you start your next round, if you did switch colors, you're starting on your first chain, not where you have this little slip knot. So I'm just going to start off the first one with you, adding 1 rubber band. So pause the video until you're done. Just remember, if you do change colors, you're going to start off with a slip stitch. For rounds 10 and 11, our last 2 rounds for the hat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a reverse stitch. So I'm just going to take this band off my hook, and I'm going to go in through the other way. So it was like this. I'm just going to take it around and put my hook through the other way. And we're going to work around the opposite way. So I'm going to go through this stitch here. I'm going to skip right here where my band is coming out of, and I'm just going to go in the next stitch. On each chain, I'm just adding a single band. So at the end of the round, you're going to have 20 stitches. just slide through. My next chain, just with single bands going all the way around. So each pile that I have here, there's 20 bands. Just continue all the way till you get to your stitch marker. I'm just going in right here where my other color is. And now going in where my C-clip is, my stitch marker. I'm going to remove the C-clip, attach it to the band around my hook, and I'm going to do this one more time. So I'm going in this stitch here, not where it's getting pulled, my next stitch. I'm changing the color, so I'm going to do a slip stitch, going through all the bands and pulling. Going through the next stitch. On our last, when we use up the last band, we are going to be doing a slip knot, just to tie it off. So right now we're on round 11 of the hat and just adding a single band to each stitch. So you'll be using 20 bands. Okay, so on our last stitch, I was daydreaming. On our last stitch, you're going to go in where your stitch marker is, and we're just going to do a slip knot the same way you would do a slip stitch. So basically go in through all the bands, grab the other end, and tie it off. I'm going to remove my C-clip. I'm going to stretch these bands around. And what I'm going to do, just give this a little tug, I'm going to turn it inside out. So our hat is done. Put this to the side. So now we're going to sew the head onto the body. So just so you know, the head, the last stitches that we did, our last round has 10 stitches, 10 chains, and our body has 15. So we're going to have to attach it, but we're going to decrease the body while we're doing it. So while we're doing this, we're going to take one band. How do I explain this? You're going to take a single band and then you're going to stitch 2 and 3 together. A single band, stitch 2 and 3 together. So let's see. Where your slip knot is on your body, you're going to go through this first chain that you see. So just a single here. Just so you know, we're going to use 10 bands for this round. You're going to use the same color, whatever band color that you have around this neck part of your body. So going in the first stitch, and you're going to go through the first stitch on the head. So right beside your slip knot, you're going to go through your first chain. Okay, like this. And you're going to grab a single band and you're going to bring it through all of the bands. Put on your hook and slide. Now stitch 2 and stitch 3 together. And you're going to go for your next stitch that's on the head, just one chain. I keep calling it stitches. One chain. So whatever one is not getting pulled, that's the one you're going to go through. With a single band, you're going to bring it through the head. Now the 2 stitches on the body, and put on your hook and slide through. Now you're going to go through a single chain on the body, through the chain on the head. I'm working at the back of this head here, grabbing one chain, whatever one is not getting pulled. So I'm going to give it a tug here. And you're going to slide a single band through. Put on your hook and slide. Now you're going to grab 2 stitches, 1, 2, and go through the head. Whatever stitch is not getting pulled, grab the chain and a single rubber band and bring it through. Bring it through the body, put on your hook and slide. We're going to go for one chain on the body, one chain on the head, and a single band and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide. Now you're going to grab 2 chains on the body, one chain on the head, and a single rubber band. Bring it through. Notice I'm pushing the body down with my finger into the center of that band and slide. Now 1 stitch on the body, 1 stitch on the head, and a single band. Two stitches on the body, 1 stitch on the head. Slide it through. One stitch on the body, 1 stitch on the head, single band, and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide through. Now with our last rubber band, we're going to do a slip knot. So you have 2 more stitches, so you're just going to grab 1 stitch, our 2nd stitch, and the stitch that's left on the head. We're going to bring it through all of the bands to do a slip knot. Sorry, we're going to bring it through the last band, grab both ends of that single band and do a slip knot. So this is done. I'm just going to hide these slip knots. So with these bands, I'm just going to go through the neck, coming out somewhere beside the slip knots, and bringing it through. Okay, I'm going to show you how to sew on the arms. Ignore the eyes. I will show you how to do that next. I'm just redoing this clip for you. So what you're going to do is take one of the arms, and I'm going to figure out a placement, a proper placement. So I'm going to be going right in about here. So I'm going to go like right in here. So you're going to have to determine, and you can see where you're going to place the arm. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through one of these stitches on the body, and I'm going to grab the slip knot and just bring it through. Now I'm going to go through the next stitch right beside it on the body and grab the next slip knot and bring it through. And I'm just going to go slide it through. Then I'm going to go through the next stitch on the body, grab that slip knot and bring it through and slide. Now I'm going to hold this with my finger, so I'm just going to remove the band off the hook, holding it with my finger, and I'm going to go underneath the arm, and I'm just going to go right underneath and grab that slip knot and bring it through. Now I'm just going to be using the same color band that I have, and I'm going to do a slip knot. So I'm just going to go underneath one of the stitches on the body, bring that band through, all of the bands that are around my hook, and I'm going to do a slip knot. And so you can see right now if you've placed it in a good spot, I think that's okay for me. I'm just going to do the other arm. So I'm just going to kind of determine where to go. And I think if I go right here on the body, grab the slip knot and bring it through. And just to make sure, I'm just looking to make sure it's even. Now I'm going to go through the next stitch on the body, grab that slip knot and bring it through. Slide it through. The other band that's on my hook, I'm going to go through the next stitch on the body, bring that band through, and bring it through. Now that should be okay. Now I'm just going to grab this band with my finger, go underneath, right through, and bring that band. Now I'm going to go through one of the bands on the body, and I'm going to do a slip knot. So I'm going to go through all the bands that are on my hook, and I lost it. And bring it through. And that should be okay. Now I'm just going to hide the slip knot band, so I'm just going to go through the body closest to the band and just bring it through. You can go anywhere you'd like to go. Bring it. And the other one. And that should be good. Now I'm going to show you how to do the eyes. So if you want to add the little flower that I added on mine, what you're going to do is we're going to do a magic circle. If you don't want to, you can just attach the head. I'm going to show you how to do the little flower as an option. I'm going to do a magic circle. So I'm going to use the bottom part of my loom, and I'm going to do 5 stitches. So take a single rubber band, wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now take your hook and you're going to do 5 single stitches. So using 5 bands. Just bring them through. 1, 2, bring it to the side. 3, bring it to the side. 4, bring it to the side. And our 5th. I'm just going to add a C-clip and remove. So you should have 5 stitches. I'm just going to move them around so it's nice and neat. And what we're going to do now is increase every stitch with 2 rubber bands. So on every stitch you're going to add 2. Because I'm going to change the color, I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. So going through my first chain with 1 rubber band. And I'm going to slide it through. Almost forgot. I'm going to go back in that same chain and add another rubber band. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches, just adding 2 rubber bands to each stitch. I'm just going to remove the C-clip. And I'm going to use an extra band. I'm just going to move everything around. And I'm going to do a slip knot. So I'm just going to go in the first chain that you see. Grab that rubber band and you're going to bring it through all the stitches. And you're going to do a slip knot. So we're going to, that's where you just had it. I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to use this side. I'm going to turn it back to this side and I'm just going to bring this slip knot, just so you see where I am, through one of these bands here. And bring it through. And I'm just going to take the hat and I'm just going to put it off to the side right here. And I'm going to attach it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the inside of the hat here and I'm going to bring that slip knot through. I'm going to move it down one more. Let's measure. I'm going to bring it through. I'm going to go through another little hole here, so one of the other stitches on the hat. I'm going to grab one of the bands and I'm going to use a single rubber band and bring it through. So I'm just attaching it. So you could, ooh, that went fine. You could do whatever you like, improvise here on how you'd like to attach the hat. I mean, you can just use a C-clip to attach. And I'm going to bring it through. And I'm just going to use a C-clip on the inside of this hat and attach these bands to it. And I'm going to put the hat on. We're going to add the eyes. So all I'm going to do is just fix this hat like this. And I'm going to go through, you would like to, I'm just going to go about here. You can find your placement. I'm going to go through the stitches here. So I just went through one, and then you can see the middle, and then the third here. And I'm just going to bring the rubber band through. And I'm going to use a C-clip. And I'm going to put the C-clip and hide it. I'm going to do the other eye. So I'm just going to kind of leave this spot as the center of the face. And I'm going to go through one, skipping one, and through the other. Grab the band and bring it through. And I'm just going to push the C-clip to the back. And it's done. I hope you enjoyed Looming with Cheryl. Please subscribe down below. I have a lot more designs to load. And I will see you next time with another. Bye for now.